If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
Did that change a lot in the era of, let's say, free agency, the last 10, 12 years you managed that? It was, once these guys get to the big leagues, it seemed to me, watching Billy Martin, watching you, Lasorda, that there was managing a personality as much as it was managing strategy or managing coaching or development or even evaluation.
No, I don't think so. I don't know about that. Personalities don't to me, didn't involve anything except the ball player coming to the ballpark and wanting to play baseball and playing baseball as hard as he could. Naturally, he didn't want anybody on the team that's going to shirk their responsibilities, and all you wanted was a player that wanted to come to the park and play as hard as he could. But there again, he had to have talent, or you weren't going to win any ball games.
Was Kissel the guy you learned the most about? Would you call him your mentor professionally?
I can't say that because of Richards, you know. But
well, tell me about Richards a little bit. That's what I like hearing about. I like hearing about the people that taught you.
Well, here's the thing. I know that they did things wrong, and I learned from what they did wrong, definitely. And I also learned from what they did right. They're still doing it today. I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Pitcher will go out there and throw 4 straight balls to a hitter. He's on first base. The next 2 pitches to the next hitter are 2 balls. Now here's a guy that can't get the ball over the plate. And all you have to do is keep the bat on the shoulder. And now the radio announcers and a lot of managers say, oh, it's a good time for the hit and run. Well, the man hasn't thrown a ball over the plate in the last 6 pitches. Why is it a good time for the hit and run and make a hitter swing at a pitch that might be over his head or hit him in the neck and get the guy thrown out? The hitter balls at the hitter's head for ball 3, and it's the perfect pitch to throw the guy out at second base because he's not trying to steal. It's a hit and run. And you learn those things as well. You learn them yourself. And I used most of the, naturally I used things that George Kissel did. I used things that Paul Richards did. I used things that Andy Cohen did. But most of all, I did things that I learned from my playing experiences and managing experiences.
Who was the one player or situation from a coach that you take so much pride in? Someone that had a longer career, maybe just made it to the fringe of the major leagues because of you or your coaching or your time investment?
Well, moving Ripken to shortstop, I want to take a little bit of credit. Credit for that, you know.
How did Ken Sr. feel about that? Did he have any input into that?
Why, certainly. Yeah, Baltimore wanted to sign him as a pitcher. What a waste that would have been. And we fought, the mother and the father and myself fought the organization. And the father's words were whether, you know, they were going to let him sign with Baltimore, because naturally Cal had other offers. Look it, if you don't let the man go out and play shortstop first year or 2, we're going to sign with somebody else. They wanted to sign him as a pitcher. And naturally, he had a great arm. And the mother and father and Cal himself, he wanted to play every day. So, Senior, in negotiations, you know, I had nothing to do with that, but Senior, and I guess the mother was involved, but they said, look it, send him out the first year or 2, let him play shortstop, because they used the designated hitter in the minor leagues. And if he goes a year without seeing any pitches or without hitting, you know, you start him off as a pitcher and he's no good, you can't move him to shortstop. But if you let him play shortstop right off and he doesn't hit or doesn't play well, you can always move him to pitcher. So I think Baltimore signed him with still with the thought that he might be a pitcher. So they
was
let
that
him.
Hank Peters?
Huh?
Was that Hank Peters?
Yeah, and Tommy Giordano, the farm director. But yeah, but at any rate, they wanted to sign him, so they signed him as shortstop. They won him out, let him play shortstop naturally. The 17-year-old kid in the minor leagues on bad fields is going to make a number of errors. And he played shortstop the first year and a half, and then we signed a hot shot out of Texas. I don't know whether it was A&M or Texas University, but
Bonner?
Yeah, Bonner, Bobby Bonner. And naturally, he was much more polished. He's a 22-year-old guy that had played for 4 years of college baseball and looked a lot better than Rip. So they moved Ripken to third base, and Bonner, that was going to be the left side of the infield with Bonner at short and Ripken at third. And Bonner, I guess, at age 22 or 23, got as good as he was going to look, and he looked good. But when he got to AAA baseball, everybody looked that good, and some of them looked better. So Ripken was still developing, and Bobby was going south, or staying right at the same level he was, because at 22, 23, that's as, you're as good as you're going to get. And Ripken kept getting better. So when they got to the big leagues, we started that season. I'll never forget, if we wouldn't have made that DeCense trade and started Ripken off at shortstop in 1982 and had DeCense at third, you got an automatic 40 to 50 home runs right there on the left side of the infield. And we gave that up. Naturally, Bonner was over his head in major leagues, and Ripken was still developing. So we were getting nothing out of shortstop and third base, so I thought, I got to get somebody in here to get a hit or two. So I moved Ripken to shortstop, and then put Honey Bear,
Floyd
Rayford in at third base to get a few hits, and it worked out well.
Well, and they won a championship the next year. Earl Weaver with us today. So for you, with all the things you've learned, what if Buck Showalter and you were to have a conversation about managing, what's the first piece of advice you would give, not just Buck, but anyone managing at this point?
Do what you know best. Manage the way you'd like to manage. Can't tell anybody how to manage, you got different theories. I'd say don't have a hit and run. That would be the biggest thing. Don't have a hit and run. You're making a hitter swing at a bad pitch. All you're doing is punishing yourself. Naturally, if you knew the pitcher's going to throw the ball down the plate, give it a shot. But it'd have to be a guy with one of those records that don't walk two people, every 9 innings, 2 or less people every 9 innings, because like I just said, I've seen managers, they throw 4 straight balls, 2 balls on the hitter, and they think the pitcher's going to throw the ball down the middle. If he could, he'd have been throwing the first pitch to the first hitter down the middle, so there you go.
For the fans this year and where we are right now, just bring me up to speed. You've been watching this team a little bit, what Buck's done, what's going to happen out here on Thursday night with Cal and with the fans, and this weekend. Relevant Yankee-Oriole baseball. So many people here have waited so long. I know you must have some emotions about this, especially seeing the statues and all this thing come full circle this year.
Well, what I want to do is stay out of the way because everything's going so well. There's nothing that I can do to help in any manner, shape, or form. And Buck's doing a heck of a job, so just let him do what he's been doing and just let him alone. And hope that one guy after another comes through, each and every night. One guy this night, one guy the next night, that's the way it's been. The past week, Reynolds has taken over, so maybe you get some right-handed pitching, maybe Davis will take over, but at any rate, with what we have, Buck's done a tremendous job.
Emotionally for you, getting together with Eddie, Cal, Brooks, the guys that were all your guys, the guys that were all of our guys in Baltimore, has this been emotional for you, getting together every couple of weeks and sort of reliving the glory days and seeing these statues go up?
Well, it's been enjoyable. I won't say it's emotional. Naturally, when you see your own statue, that's emotional. But, you know, you look, and when I saw Frank's, it was great. When I saw, you know, Eddie's, it was great. When I saw mine, it was even greater.
What about Palmer's? You like Palmer's?
You know, I think his leg's up a little bit too high on the statue, maybe. But other than that, yeah, it's great. It's great of him.
Well, Earl Weaver here back in Baltimore for the ceremonies, and Cal Ripken and then Brooks Robinson next week. Thanks for your time, Earl.
All
Really
right,
appreciate
you're
you
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome.
We love watching you manage. There he is, Earl Weaver.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.